So, did you finally get all that seaweed out of your gears, Mia? I know, it was really fortunate that the protagonist of Planet Novel came to your rescue. You were almost fish food. Mia? Mia? Are you even listening to me? Ugh, Mia, we do not have time for mountain gazing. We've got to... Mountain! Ooh, talk about a mountain of problems. I'm so glad you're here. We could really use your help. Our spaceship veered off course and got us lost in this mountain range. Mia managed to land the ship, but now we need to venture through this plot of land to get to our next destination on Planet Novel. Plot. Wait a minute. Mia, did you pack that stuff from our fiction unit? Great, it's covered in soy sauce and maple syrup. Oh, aha! Plot mountain. This range on Planet Novel looks really similar. I bet we can use our trusty, albeit sticky, map to guide us through to the other side, but it does look like there are some other features out there too. Your PDF looks like it's got some new information to help us navigate. Make sure you have it ready because we're gonna need it. You are always on top of it. I might need to demote Mia as first mate of this ship. By the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to map each part of a story and distinguish between major and minor events in a plot. Let's get into it. You're right, Mia. Our trusty plot map is exactly what we need to guide us. Remember, plot is the sequence of events in the story. Let's revisit each part before we start our ascension. Exposition. Remember, this is where the characters, setting, and basic situation are introduced. The exposition is followed by the inciting incident. This event jumpstarts the plot and sets the story in motion. It's usually where the conflict of the story begins. Remember that conflict is essential because it creates tension and drives the plot. It's the challenge or problem that characters need to resolve, and it can be internal within a character's mind or external between characters or against larger forces. Have you noticed any exposition or the inciting incident in your novel yet? If not, make a prediction about the plot of your story. Take a moment to pause the video here to jot down a couple ideas in your guided notes. Terrific work! Throughout the PDF, there will be more places for you to keep track of the events of your story as it unfolds, helping to guide your journey as you explore your novel. Let's press forward with our review. After the inciting incident, we ascend the rising action up our mountain. As the plot advances, the tension builds and makes the story more exciting. Next, we reach the climax. This is the turning point and most exciting part. It's the highest point of tension in the story and is definitely something to watch out for as you read. Following the thrilling climax, we turn downwards into the falling action. Here, the tension starts to decrease, the characters start to solve the conflict, and we see the consequences of the climax. And finally, we reach the resolution. The story concludes and loose ends are tied up. You can rely on this plot map to help guide you through almost any story, including your independent novel. Great job hiking through this recap. I think we're ready to navigate our way to the other side of Plot Mountain, Mia. Set the course to follow the map and get us to the other side. What's that coming into view? It's a huge boulder. It's forcing us to take a different path. This must be a major event in our plot. Major events are like big rock formations on a trail. They're important parts of the story that significantly impact the outcome. They could change what a character decides to do, or even change the whole direction of the story. They're easier to spot, and they have a major effect on the story. Let's have a look at an example. In Jack London's The Call of the Wild, Buck, the protagonist dog, is stolen from his comfortable home in California and sold into service as a sled dog in Alaska. This drastic change in circumstances marks the beginning of Buck's transformation from a domesticated pet into a creature capable of surviving in the harsh wilderness, setting the stage for the rest of his story. Because this event impacts the outcome of Buck's story, it's a major event. Hey, we did it! We navigated around that major event boulder. Nice work. Wow, Mia, look at all these beautiful pebbles along the trail. They don't seem to be blocking our path at all, but they sure are interesting. Minor events are like these aspects of a trail. They might not cause huge impacts or change the direction of the plot, but they are still important to notice. Minor events are less significant incidents that happen, like a short conversation between characters, a small decision, or something that happens in the background. These minor events add detail and make the story feel more real and interesting. Thinking back to The Call of the Wild, Buck eventually learns how to steal food from his fellow sled dogs. While this event may seem small compared to the grand adventures and fights Buck experiences, it's still crucial for his survival. This minor event showcases Buck's adaptability and cunning, and it marks a step in his transformation from a domesticated dog to a creature of the wild. While it doesn't completely change the course of his story, it's an important event to note on his journey through his own plot mountain. What's that, Mia? Huh. It looks like the events in your novel are tangled up and blocking the trail. Can you take a moment to record one major event and one minor event from your independent novel in your guided notes? I bet that'll do the trick. Remember, major is something that has a big impact on the story. Minor is something that adds smaller details. Meet us back here when you're done. Welcome back. It looks like you did it. Our path is clear and we are finishing our descent. Great work today. Remember, story mapping helps us explore a story's plot in more detail. A plot has 6 elements as well as a conflict that unfolds throughout the story. As you read, something new to watch out for are the story's major and minor events. By noticing the types of events in your novel's plot, you'll be able to understand the story's depth, track character development, and more accurately predict the story's outcome. These events, whether major or minor, help to shape the entire narrative and your perception of it. Mia, give me a minute. We're finishing the lesson. What was I saying? Oh, for even more practice, be sure to check out the PDF that accompanies today's lesson. Yes, Mia, we'll deal with the theme thunderstorm in a minute. Theme thunderstorm? It seems like we've got another wild ride ahead of us. I am so glad I got over my fear of thunderstorms in our last unit. I'm actually excited. Chart a course to the heart of the storm, Mia. See you next time, my marvelous story mappers.